call this Oak Park Board of Education special meeting to order. We have the agenda before us this evening. Any issues with the agenda for this meeting? Seeing, hearing none. Without, I would move for approval without objection. We can do so. Without any objection, we can do so by unanimous consent. Is there any objection to doing this by unanimous consent? Okay. Hearing none, we're hereby approved on the agenda. We have one presentation this evening that is from Dr. Sharice Foster relative to the public hearing on the 2025-26 budget. Dr. Foster, the floor is yours.
Greetings. Greetings, members of the board, superintendent, cabinet, and district, community, and staff. Again, my name is Sharice Foster. I am the executive director of business and finance. I stand before you as requirement by law to adhere to a public hearing on our 25-26 projected budget for the upcoming school year. On June 9th, I came before you with a detailed presentation as it pertains to both our revenue, expenditures for the general fund, and all our other ancillary accounts. I would like to provide yet another review of starting with the revenue on page 3 of your previous board docs, where we're projecting to start off the school year with approximately $59,141,063 in expenditures to match. Our goal is to have a equally spent fund balance with the exceptions of any of the surprises that may come through from like the state allowances. So just to give you more context in terms of what's going on and why it's a big question mark in some regard as relates to the budget. Currently we have 3 proposals on this table. One executive proposal that comes from the governor, Senate proposal, and House proposal. As it pertains to our particular budget, we left the current foundation allowance of $9,608 per student to provide a very healthy cushion throughout the school year. What the 3 proposals are proposing is anywhere from $392 more to up to $417 more per pupil. As a superintendent I referenced during the last meeting, we won't know exactly until normally November of the school year. So by that time, we're already 3.5 months into the school year. So I thought it was very important to lift this just to kind of let you know that although we projected at the 9,608, it's highly likely that anywhere from close to, I'm thinking at least 400,000 more per pupil we will receive, which translates to approximately this more than what's represented in the current revenue that I'm projecting. So if they go with what the governor has proposed, we'll get about $392 more per student, which will increase our revenue by 1.1 million, almost 1.2 million. The Senate gets approved their proposal at $10,008 for foundation allowance, at $400 more, at approximately 3,000 students. And again, that's a low because we have some aggressive marketing campaigns going on, but just keeping everything as is, these 3 amounts project what our revenue could increase by. Yes,
question, does that include the offset from some of the other things that they're proposed to remove?
No.
It does not include the offset?
Does not.
So it's assuming...
So this is in addition to?
So I guess, let me try to understand. So I get that that's the increase per pupil, but then there are things in that budget that they're removing, correct? Like some items that we rely on.
We're not sure. So what we did was those items, so let's go back to your revenue. So those items that we know for sure that have been reduced or removed, we removed them now.
Okay, and so we already took those out.
Those that we know for sure, yes. So in any of these buckets as relates to local, state, or federal, they could increase or decrease, but some we know for sure. And I would say, based off these figures, I would say at least 70% of this is a for sure, as far as the amount.
Trustee Corcoran.
So based on what President Al had just said, so I know that it has been weekly updates, hourly updates on whether or not, if and what the government will propose to remove. Did you take any of those projected comments, like, like for instance, they may say bill number hypothetically 000 is, has been proposed, right? To have a vote, but they're waiting. But did you just take that into consideration or no?
I was not that granular at all.
Okay, no
No,
problem.
no, I was not.
Thank you.
Just with these were more solid, they're all pretty close to that 10,000, so we'll know we'll get something up in there. But no, I was not that granular. It's a lot to keep up with. It's just constantly changing.
I know.
We're good, continue.
Any more questions regarding our general fund as it pertains to the revenue or the expenses, projected expenses? Okay, moving on.
I got a question.
Sure.
How many districts did a zero assumption
None
as
that
Oak Park did?
none that I've met with.
How many?
I hate to.
Define zero assumption is deleting the witness.
Okay, so, in Oakland County, there's a certain assumptions made of how much you project of getting in addition to the 9608. So with assumptions could lead to disappointment, right? Because you are projecting to get a budget or revenue that you're not promised. So that's like saying, I anticipate winning the lotto, therefore I should budget my household spending. But what Oak Park did, which is only district in Oakland County, I know because I surveyed them, and I asked
You
them.
surveyed every district in
In
Oakland
Oakland
County,
County, yes, sir.
one by one?
Yes, I did.
We
Yes,
gotta
I
find
did.
something else to do for you.
Well, you know,
That sounds like a
Because-
misallocation of
Listen,
resources.
no, I did that on the weekend.
he was getting.
Misallocation of resources.
I will say that he did support me after a bunch of back and forth. I'm like, Angel, let's just stay where we are. He's like, just a little bit more. I'm like, no, no, let's just wait it out.
So this is real smart budgeting because you have nowhere but up.
So I got a question, whose idea was it?
It was your idea, President
No, it was
Allen.
not my
your
idea, it was not my idea.
It was your idea.
It was not my idea, I wouldn't even have said that if it was my idea. Whose idea was that? Where'd that come
It was
from?
Dr. Foster's idea.
There we go, there we
Idea.
go, Dr. Foster, all right.
Good job.
Yes.
And I'm sure President Alvin has something to do with this. What do you want to do?
Budget is not my
No,
bailiwick.
but here's the thing. She don't take a lot of credit for practices because she has to balance everything. And so, we do go back and forth because, it's a collaboration, right? She has to collaborate with everybody, and sometimes people don't like hearing no, right? Because she's the person that holds the purse and says that. So I applaud her effort, and at the same time, we get rewarded and recognized, and I believe we're blessed with grants galore. The same day that we went back and forth, we got awarded $3.2 million.
For what purpose was it?
For allocation 12A, which is for HVAC, remediation, infrastructure. They only had $25 million allocated for the entire state. Oak Park got $3.2 million of that.
I know this is completely off topic, but seeing as how I don't see any public here to ask any questions, I'm gonna ask it
Sure.
of
Chip.
Tiffany. I assume we're putting it to good use then, for our classrooms,
Absolutely.
because I've heard some things about our classroom, the temperature of the classrooms.
Yep.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, and we're still working through testing and balancing with the current systems as well.
okay, all right. I was trying to make that easy, so. All right, continue, Dr. Foster.
Thank
I
you.
keep wanting to call you Dr. Ferris, I'm
It's
trying.
okay. It's okay. I do it too. So for the cafeteria fund, we're expecting a fund balance of about $187,918. Cafeteria fund, also known as food service. Sometimes you hear districts say food service, so it's kind of one and the same. Student activity account, we're keeping at about $150,000 with zero fund balance. Typically, those funds get spent out on a yearly basis. Sometimes the ones that carry over are generally like those student years that are upcoming, like 2026, 2027. Ultimately, those funds get spent out. Our debt, our 2021 bond debt repayment, this came up during the last meeting. This is where we're paying the debt back from the bond that was sold, the series that was sold in 2021. We're still pulling in, we still have a fund balance of a little over $1 million. We're still pulling in a little bit more revenue than what the actual debt cost has been for the last couple of years. For our debt 2023 that was sold last year, bond series 2023, again, we're pulling a bit more revenue from the taxes collected per the interest that we have to pay on the debt. And as you recall, a few months ago, we sold the third series for bond 2025. That one's pretty new. We expect to spend that out by this December coming up, but we'll, just keep an eye on that. But with the, what is it, the gym?
The flooring?
No, the big to-do.
Oh, athletics.
Athletics, yeah, that's expected to pretty much spend the rest of that out by December, January of next year.
Excuse me, Dr.
Yes.
Foster, what page are you on? 'Cause
Oh, so this would be page 11. Sorry about that, in the 25, 26. Our sinking fund is generally kind of a set amount. It comes in about 1.5, high to 1.4s every year. We typically spend most of that every year, but to date, based off our expenses and what we projected next year, we should have about $190,000 worth of a fund balance. Then our bond 2025, completely spent. And then those last pages, as I referenced before, these are the function codes that I thought would be key to have as you peruse through the more granular spending that has taken place, that we're proposing to take place for 25, 26. Speaks to all these function codes and categories. Yes.
I had a couple of questions.
Sure.
What was my question? It's how many of the FTEs for 25, 26, what are they based on?
So they're based on their current salary plus a 3.5 projected increase across the board going into 25, 26.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Hold on, FTEs for who?
For,
She's
the FYs, I got that.
You talking about the per pupil allowance?
Yeah, the
I
per
like-
Well, I
yeah,
think
that's
that's
what
on
we're
staff.
talking about.
Are you talking about staff or students? I'm sorry, I should ask you that.
Yeah, what?
It was staff.
Yeah, that's what I thought she was talking
Oh.
about staff.
Staff.
Yes.
How many staff members per pupil is that what you're asking?
Yes, because I know you stated that our pupil amount has gone up. And I was basing it on, because we have the personnel action report, so I was basing it off of that total, because there are raises and what have you, so I was trying to just figure out how many, which you probably.
Let me tell you what I thought I heard you say, or what I thought I heard you ask was how much, based off the FTE staff, how did I
How's it
determine
based
how
on?
much their
Correct.
amounts are, or how I projected the salaries for
Yes.
this year coming up?
Correct.
So I took what their current salary is, any step increases, et cetera, and then where applicable, we added the 3.5% raise or
Okay.
increase across the
But
board. Staff,
but-
I know what you're doing.
Right, but staff are actually fixed amounts based on the collective bargaining agreement, so
Yeah,
why
but
would you have to add 3.5%?
Well, for some of the staff that you asked for, and then we have the longevity, we have the step increases, we have a number of things depending on the staff that had increases different from where they ended or started last year.
Is that what you asked?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because you'll see a slight increase from last year to this year, and that's why, because you have the longevity, the steps, and all that. Does it make sense?
Was it a projected amount on those? maybe you asked this question already, but what is the amount, the dollar amount, that we are projecting for federal funds?
Sure. Let's see, you wanna go back to page 3? In line 54. For federal funds, the projection is $6,017,418.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you say it earlier.
No, it's
That's what
okay.
I'm going
It's okay. It's, it's complicated. Any more questions?
Any questions from members of the board? What page can I find the fund balance again?
Sure.
For, and the percentage for, projected for the 25-26?
Page 3. Go all the way to the bottom. Blue column, column G.
The 12,
Mm-hmm. 12,525,147.
Yeah, I see that.
Yep. So that will put us in the high 19s, almost 20% fund balance.
but we'd be starting the year down year over year about 2.1 million.
No, so based off the audit report, our fund balance last year was 14,649,000.
Yep.
Based off where we ended this year, we're at about the 12.5, which is a decrease of 2,124,000. We're
Yeah.
not sure, for next year.
That's what I was looking at.
So I have it where we remain status quo for now,
But we project to end this year 2.1 million less.
less, yes.
25, 26,
No,
Current
24
year,
to 20
current year.
current year.
Right now.
from last year going into this year.
But that's when you address the
Enrollment stabilization, all
the
that.
stabilization money that was pulled out.
Yeah, we had that conversation last time. I
Yeah.
was confirming. Anything else from members of the board? Dawn? Trustee Corcoran, sorry.
I don't quite have this question together, but I'm gonna try to put it together. Angel, you stated that we just received a 3.2 million grant for the renovation or toward like.
It's specific, even though I know, like, people
Earmark.
say certain things are specific, remediation, HVAC, there's some things, but we have to look at the parameters which we could operate, but it was 3.2 million. That was Tiffany that spearheaded that, so kudos there to.
Anything else, Trustee Corcoran?
Yeah, I'll ask that question later. 'Cause
No,
it's for.
Go ahead if you got it.
Well, I know that we've had some HVAC issues where they have replaced, but with this 3.2 million, it is really actually gonna be allocated to something that need to be repaired or replaced.
Anything HVAC related or remediation related?
Okay, because I know we go way back, there's these air conditioners that were put in rooms and they don't really work and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So under the current bond at OPA, that's what we're doing right now, is removing all those window units.
What about those big old things that are in the middle of the room? Did those get out the way yet?
No.
Okay, just-
That's what they're putting
That's
now.
what they're putting in.
Okay.
That was this part was not done.
I'm against that, but
You-
okay.
You good?
Yeah.
And
One day.
anything that they installed is still warranted.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured that, but I was just, wondering, just by osmosis, it didn't work anywhere, you can remove it, put something else,
You got more?
I do not.
Anything else for members of the board? All right, thank you, Dr. Ferris, Foster.
My pleasure.
We're at item number 4, audience participation. You want me to do it? Okay.
Welcome to a public meeting of the Oak Park Board of Education. All meetings are held in public except those specifically. No, that's not it.
There you go. I was about to say, well,
Oh yeah, somebody read it. James was like, oh, that's not it.
you added new language?
Because the Oak Park Board of Education values public meetings, not just meetings in public, we welcome public comments on school issues. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due process for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by public comments. The public comment portion of the meeting cannot be used to make personal attacks against a school board member or a school district employee. That disrupts the order of the meeting and are totally unrelated to the manner in which the member or employee performs his or her duties. Speakers should be aware that if statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, such as comments may result in legal liability. Most comments can be concisely stated in 3 minutes, and the board respectfully asks that the comments remain focused on a topic or issue and not directed at specific personnel or board member. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't put it away, we'll have to use it again.
I know.
Are there any members of the public who want to address the board? Okay, we have no members of the public in the room, so I'll say that so that we're very clear and no one wishing to address the board. So we will go to item 5, which is adjournment. We have a meeting right after this one in 9 minutes. So without objection, we'll pass a motion to adjourn this meeting by unanimous consent unless there's an issue with doing so. Or is there any issue with doing that? Hearing none, we're hereby adjourned at 5:52 p.m. Thank you. to order. Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Clark. Here. Corcoran. Here. Elvin.
Here.
Madison. Here. Scott. Here. Herman Tanks.
Here.
And Tyler.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. We will go to approval of the agenda. The agenda was circulated prior to today's meeting. Without objection, we'll pass a motion to approve the agenda by unanimous consent. Is there any issues are there any issues with the agenda? Okay, hearing none, then the agenda is hereby approved. We'll go to item number 3. You want to do that now or later, what you were talking about, the comments?
After you do everything.
So when I get to the later one?
No, I want to make sure that
After,
they
you want to do this like now?
And then I'll say, huh?
If this next item is approved, you want to go then?
No.
Later.
Yeah, after you do
Okay.
everything.
Okay. All right, so approval of the consent agenda, the
It's a
consent.
hot day. It's a hot day.
Hey, I just want to make sure I stay in order. The consent agenda, as you can see, has 2 items on there, the minutes from our last meeting and the personnel actions. There are plenty of them on there. Are any questions relative to the consent agenda? You want to move something off? Okay. Trustee Corcoran, what would you like to move off the consent agenda?
There are 2 contracts that I wanted to remove because I wanted to,
We gotta
off
remove,
the
we gotta move
consent.
them all. So you gotta move the whole item. So you wanna move the whole item, but we can talk about this too. Okay. All right, so we're gonna move the personnel actions then to item, let's go to item 7C, and I'm gonna make 7C 7D. Okay? Fair?
because that's, you wanted to combine the
I didn't want to combine them, I was just asking why they weren't. But I'm gonna move that one first, so we'll take care of personnel actions at 7C, and then we'll do approval of school administrative cabinet being posted after that, okay?
when you say, okay.
Cool? Any questions on that? Okay, so what we have now is, on the consent agenda, we have the minutes from June 9th, 2025. Without objection, we'll pass a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended with only the minutes from June 9th, 2025 on there. Is there an objection to doing so?
Okay. Oh.
Ms. Greer, you got an objection?
No.
I'm already in hot water, I might as well get it boiling hot. All right, that motion is hereby approved, and we will go to item 4, presentations. We have none.
Yes.
We have a report, so we go to the
Yeah.
next item. No presentations. Well, I go to item 5, reports, and we have superintendent remarks, and then you can just go right into the celebration of the retirement.
Okay.
Unless.
So I want to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us in this hot weather. We had a great closeout to a school year. Today we started out with our summer camp / academic discovery program. We had some kinks, but we're ironing them out. We have a high level of interest and participation going on. We are also exploring summer hours for our central office, and so we'll share those out. You know, typically during the summer we'll move to summer hours, but getting a lot of pressure from cabinet to explore those summer hours. See, I can feel that.
Can I give you some pressure to come talk to my employer about some summer hours?
Nobody. has
Now-
force, obviously not doing.
I have the pleasure of, and this is something that I wish to continue for years to come. So to celebrate the closing of one chapter and opening of another chapter of employees that have dedicated their entire life to work at Oak Park School District. And it's a bittersweet celebration when I got the email from a particular person that I'm going to mention shortly, who works at Key Elementary School and has dedicated 26 years of service. And so she is here with us. So if I could have Monica Tienda please stand. We invited Monica to join us because 26 years nowadays, we can't get people to commit 5 and 10 years.
Right.
Let alone 26 years. And hopefully she doesn't go far from us. So I am going to pass on things to Miss Murphy so she can say a few words, as she was your principal at one time. But I am proud of the work that you've done, and soon I'll be joining you. Soon I'll be joining you. Just not yet, but I'm coming. So, Miss Murphy, the floor is yours.
All right. Have a few notes here on behalf of Principal Prince of the Key Falcons, along with, I see more colleagues in the back, Mr. Adam Carter. I'm representing the Key Schoolhouse tonight. So it's a true honor to stand here today and celebrate someone who's made an unforgettable impact on our school, our students, and our district. And all of us are lucky to have worked with Ms. Tienda. For 26 years, she has been a cornerstone of Key Elementary. She's a master of math, a lover of logic, and somehow, even while teaching fractions and long division, she managed to keep a classroom full of students smiling and engaged. Her creativity knows no bounds, whether it was a new way to explain a tricky concept or a theme lesson that turned learning into an adventure. She always found a way to make math feel like magic. Beyond her brilliance in the classroom, she's been the kind of teammate every school dreams of, collaborative, thoughtful, supportive, and always willing to lend a helping hand or joke just when we need it the most. Her sense of humor brought out light to even the busiest, most stressful days, and her positive energy will dearly be missed. Ms. Tienda, thank you for your years of service, your dedication to our students, and the joy you brought to all of us. You leave behind a legacy of learning, laughter, and love, and we wish you nothing but the best rest, joy, and new adventures in this well-earned retirement. Congratulations.
Monica, come, I gotta
So, can we
take
know?
pictures.
Huh?
Oh. You have to
Rarely
stand.
do I go with prolonging the meeting, but if you have some words you want to say.
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, to the students, staff, administrators that I've been fortunate to serve with over the years. 99 is when I started.
Wow.
Yeah. I was very young and had no idea what life would hold in store for me, and had no idea that I would be here for the next 26 years. And I've had people ask me over time, why did you stay? Why did you stay? Why didn't you go somewhere else? But the kids here need us just as much as anyone. So, and honestly, it was the people. The staff at Key was and continues to be an amazing group of educators. So I just want to say thank you, and it is bittersweet. I am going to miss going to the back-to-school sales and stocking up on the 25-cent box of crayons, but yeah, it's time. Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
I wasn't, but I'm not 26 years old, so I don't, I was born when you started your career, but thank you for all your beautiful years of service and
That was my
and
alma mater.
dedication.
I went to Key. So you a long time.
See, I could have actually went there and under your tutelage.
What?
But thank you for all your dedication and years of service. Much appreciated and well deserved.
Thank you.
Yes.
And take me with you in retirement, like I'm saying.
Floor is yours.
Okay, all
Young
right.
man,
What you call?
young man.
Young man, that's
man.
right.
Okay.
Born in 99.
Not born in 99, that's right. All right. We have several action items this evening as we go, oh, sorry, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. We are at item 6, public participation. Come to the part of the meeting where the public has an opportunity to address the board if it so desires. Public participation is one-way communication in which members of the public are asked to address the full board with the understanding that board members themselves will not be able to respond. Trustee Perry Maintains, please provide the public comment guidelines. Thank you.
Because the Oak Park Board of Education values public meetings, not just meetings in public, we welcome public comments on school issues. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due process for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by public comments. The public comment portion of the meeting cannot be used to make personal attacks against a school board member or a school district employee. That disrupt the order of the meeting and are totally unrelated to the manner in which the member or employee performs his or her duties. Speakers should be aware that if statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, such comments may result in legal liability. Most comments can be concisely stated in 3 minutes, and the board respectfully asks that comments remain focused on a topic or issue and not be directed at a specific personnel or board members. And first up, I have Matthew Barker. Matthew, how are you?
Good.
Sir, the floor is all yours.
Hi. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing today? Okay, my name is Matthew Barker. I'm an Oak Park resident who will be entering 8th grade in the fall. I was happy to hear that my mom got an email saying, "Congratulations, your child has been enrolled in the Oak Park Schools K-8 Summer Discovery Program."
Can I ask you to slow down because I can hardly hear you?
Okay.
Yep.
Take your time.
We're not rushing you, so you
You want me to
got
start
the
over?
floor. It's all yours. Yeah,
Okay.
start over. Go ahead. Just
My
take
name
your
is
time.
Matthew Barker. I'm an Oak Park resident who will be entering the 8th grade in the fall. I was happy to hear that my mom got an email saying, "Congratulations, your child has been enrolled into the Oak Park Schools Summer Discovery Program." I got super excited and went to pick up my clothes for the first day. A few days later, my mom got an email saying that I could not participate because I don't go to Oak Park School District. I would rather go to Oakland, but because my IEP, Oak Park buses me to a school outside of the district. It is not my fault, and I should not be penalized for my disability. I've been playing trombone in the Oak Park marching band, and I play soccer, and I'm also on the soccer team. My favorite subject are math, science, and social studies. I'm a very creative person who has a lot of talent. I also like drawing, putting things together like Lego sets, and also I like fixing things. I never thought that I'd be facing discrimination from people who look like me in 2025. I'm a very smart kid who likes making new friends, so please accept me in this program. I promise I will listen and follow directions, so thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay. Okay. Any more?
Yes, I have Miss Desiree Fuller.
Yep.
Ms. Fuller, the floor is yours.
Okay, cool. All right, good evening.
Good evening.
I am bringing greetings from the Oak Park Education Association, and I am their new president. So I will be spending the summer doing a lot of restructuring, organizing, providing opportunities for shared leadership, and I'm looking forward to the year. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Fuller, and congratulations. Are there any other, do we have any more?
Nope, that's it.
Is there anyone else who wishes to address the board? Okay. All right, we're good on that. Got a lot of staff in the room. There's something going on today. I've not figured that part out. All right, action items then. Approval of 2024-25 final budget amendment. We have talked about this budget now a couple times. Discussed it last meeting as well. Are there any questions on the budget amendment? Okay. Trustee Clark, you want to read this one?
Resolved that the Oak Park Board of Education approve the recommended 2024-2025 final budget amendment as presented for the general funds, debt funds, God bless you, capital projects,
Thank you, guys.
food service, and student activity fund as information and discussion at the June 9th, 2025 board meeting per the attached resolutions.
Okay, motion made by trustee Clark, is there a second? Seconded by trustee Corcoran. Again, any questions on this motion? Hearing none, Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Clark,
Yes.
Cochran,
Yes.
Alvin,
Yes.
Madison,
Yes.
Scott, Perriman, Tanks,
Yes.
and Tyler.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. We will go to item 7B, adoption of the 2025-26 proposed budget. Go for it.
Resolved that the Oak Park Board of Education adopt the 2025-26 budget for the general funds, debt funds, capital projects, and food service fund, and student activity fund as itemized in the appropriation documents presented by administration as presented at the June 9th, 2024 board meeting.
25, can we amend that to say
Sorry,
2025?
25, 26?
No,
It says June 9th.
You got
2024.
24.
yeah, so we say 25. Board comfortable with that change?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll change that to 25.
Okay.
Okay, motion made by trustee Scott, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Clark. Any question on this motion? Comments? Okay, Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Perriman, Tanks,
Here.
Tyler,
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Madison,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Cochran,
Yes.
Alvin,
Yes.
and Clark.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Just want to thank Dr. Foster for her hard work on these two items. I know it's not easy. I know you're in the middle of an audit, so thank you for all your work on these. Much appreciated.
To do it by myself, but thank you.
And the team. Okay, all right. So, yeah, sorry about that. Yes, please let the team know. The board says thank you for the hard work on that. Okay, item 7C, if you recall, we moved 7C down to D. We added 7C as the personnel actions. Trustee Corcoran has questions on 7C, so trustee Corcoran, the floor is yours.
Okay, first, the personnel action report only states that the date, it has a beginning date, but it doesn't have an ending date for how long the contract is for. It's all the way to the, if you look to the right, it says effective date, and it has the effective date, July 1st, 2025, but there is no ending date.
So we have not put an end date on these in the past, but is that something that you would like us to do moving forward?
I would say yes, only to show the length of time of that amount. I didn't notice that it wasn't done before, because I read the contract, and the contract specifies that, you know, it's a begin and end date, but the personnel action report doesn't.
So I would jump in here, perspective a little bit. So I think that's correct. We've always had the effective date. So in some situations, an end date probably is not even ascertained, if you will, I would imagine, unless there's, unless they fall in some sort of collective bargaining agreement, which might take, the 2 or 3 years. This is something that we want to add as a board, the end date to every one of these moving
Do
forward.
they have an end date?
Yes, they do have an end date on the contract.
On the contract, they do, yes, but,
Okay.
I mean,
Isn't this,
do we want a column with the end date here? The contracts were provided to us directly, which is not a past practice other than last year, and they all have the end dates in them. Do we need it in one location, that's the question.
If it was past practice, for it to be on there, then I
No,
don't
the
see it.
past practice is
said
It
for
was
not
not,
to.
it wasn't on there,
Yeah.
okay.
So, trustee
so would
Corcoran
it just make it easier to read? Because what happens is you'll have to go right back to the contract. You'll have to look to see when it starts, when it ended. So if it is a column there that has a begin and an end date,
Does
it
everybody
shouldn't,
end
I
at the
mean, if
same
we're
time?
using Excel, creating another cell shouldn't be a hard thing to do. Because I would want to see when it begins and when it ends.
But it,
the source of
It
truth
doesn't
really is the
end-
contract.
yeah.
That's the source.
That, right.
So what if somebody puts it wrong on here?
But then why do we have a beginning date and no ending date? Because it's the
That's the
contract.
effective change of the
salary.
change, the salary. But, so, for example, we just hired someone, that's their effective start salary. It doesn't change, but it doesn't go down at the end of the year. It stays the same unless it's renewed by a new contract. If the new contract reflects a change, then the effective date would roll back. I don't think there's a problem with doing it, but I was just trying to explain.
Is this something that the board wants? Do we want to have an end date?
So is that a motion?
Not really a motion, I mean, I don't think we need a motion, unless you feel you want to, I'm just trying to gauge the rest of the board.
Because the way you asked, no one's saying anything, so that's what I was asking.
I'm just asking to see how others feel, like, if this is the
I
will
said,
of the
of
board,
course,
we'll just,
that's how that goes. That's what I said.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
She had asked me, what did I say? And I was answering her.
Oh, okay. All right, so is this something that the board wants to have?
But why wasn't it done in the past then?
I just think they felt it was superfluous, they not needed.
But it is on the contract.
It's on the contract.
Okay, it's on the contract.
But
on the
if you want
What else is
it
on the contract?
all here, we can ask for it. If not, we can leave it as is. I don't know, this is not,
I think, this is for me, if it's on that contract, then the contract could be, if it's on the contract, I think that it will be, it suffice, for me, because even on here, with it being on here, we don't see a signature of everyone's signature, including yours, so, if it's on the contract, I think it's good for me.
Trustee Scott, any thoughts?
That's fine.
Find the way it is? All right, all right. All right, so the rest of the board seems to think it's fine the way it is. Anything else on this one? Trustee Corcoran, I know you wanted to.
Oh, nope, that was it for that. I actually had, hold on a second, I'm sorry, where are we? Oh, I noticed there were some contracts that weren't signed. Have they been signed already?
Yes.
There was also another question that I had. It was in pertaining to, one of the contracts, the title. The title was, Executive Director of Culture and Climate and Public Relations at Department of Communications. And I just wanted to know, what is the role of a culture and climate executive director?
So it's in the job description, but culture and climate is.
I mean, is it the job description somewhere? I can read it. I
No,
didn't
I
see
mean,
it.
but I could explain it since you publicly asked. Culture and climate talks about the expectation of what an Oak Park, like the profile of an Oak Park student. You know, understanding if you have a toxic culture, then you produce toxic results. So controlling culture and the climate, how students, how staff feel. We just heard a retiree saying that the reason why she felt like she needed to stay here was because the culture and climate at Key made her feel valued. So focusing on that district-wide would help everyone feel like a sense of belonging and feeling like this is a destination, it's not a step up to go somewhere else. And it's just a starting point, but instead is, this is where I wanna be.
So this is a new,
I was trying to, did you get your question answered?
yes and no.
So I was trying to help see if we can ask it a different way. So I think what Trustee Corbin is getting at, you can tell me I'm wrong, that's fine, but like, what is a person who in that
Give
role?
an example.
What do they do? What is like a day-to-day thing?
So for culture and climate, if you wanna survey.
Hold on, do I have that right?
Oh, I'm listening.
This is for you. So if I'm getting it wrong, tell me I'm getting it wrong.
Yeah, you're asking what I.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we clarify. So go ahead.
So, would be, for example, sending out a survey. If you're staying, what is making you stay? If you're leaving, what happened? Right? If you're enrolling somewhere else, then we need to understand why. What went wrong? What do we need to fix? And those things are currently not happening. We're not surveying families that are leaving. We're not talking to the families that we're attracting here and trying to understand why we're attracting them. And then surveying staff that are leaving, understanding why they're leaving, or why our other people are coming in. So that could be a part of a bigger role. It wouldn't be every day you're doing surveys. I had to combine two because I have a picture in my head of what I want someone from outside to look at when defining Oak Park to someone. What is it about Oak Park that attracts students? What is it about Oak Park that attracts staff? You know, can we define that, right? What kind of student does Oak Park produce at the end of 12-year academic career? So right now, it is kind of lumped up with other things, and it's not exactly where I want it to be. So in order for me to get it to where I want it to be, I have to focus on it. And I believe that the way I have it now is, we're gonna focus on that.
Okay, that is actually great. So you're basically building like a database, on what is happening in regards to either why students are leaving, how students are, here, like what their intakes are, and it's the parents also, right?
Yes.
So, okay, so then, so we're gonna build that, and then we're gonna come and then say, okay, these are the reasons why,
Yeah. So
and the survey is coming from,
so survey is one piece, right?
Okay.
So, you asked a question, I'm sorry, cut you off.
no, go ahead.
So, understanding parent perception, understanding their role in the academic learning progress, right? So what's your role as a parent here at Oak Park? What do you have to do? What do you need from us? And so having someone dedicated to communicate and work with parents instead of having it be a hit or miss based on if you got connected to the right person or the wrong person, but actually creating a system where we could foster that. I think that could grow.
Create a
Yeah,
database
yeah.
to keep up with, you know,
All
the comings and
Yeah.
goings or issues or what have you. And that database will be reported to you, right? You know,
Yeah, and
on
we'll
like a
include that.
weekly, I mean, like.
Yeah,
monthly
I'll probably
basis or-
include that in.
Because I know it's a fairly new
Yeah.
thing, so that's why I was just asking, so that way we can understand what that is gonna be entailed.
Yeah.
You know, then you're gonna post the roles or the job description.
I think we have that already in there, but
I just haven't seen that.
I'll get that.
And then you said the word "and" public relations, that
Mhm.
is, adjacent to that is gonna be just,
It's, it's combining, you know, so, again, so someone said it where we have a heavy, marketing campaign right now, right? So that requires a lot of work. Right now, I'm putting in a lot of my time in that, not only
for,
me.
you mean for enrollment? I mean,
Yeah,
for,
not just for enrollment, like, so I put a heavy hand on, the district newsletter, articles, Facebook marketing, and all that stuff. We really need someone else.
To help,
Yeah.
I got you. I was just wanting to get a better understanding
Yeah.
to this position, because it was a high amount, from one place to another. It was like a $14,000 increase, so I was just wondering,
But it's,
you know, what that would entail.
so it's a year-round though. You gotta understand now it's a year-round position.
Okay, so they, right.
So now
this
they're
year-
working 260 days.
Gotcha. I can see that.
Yeah.
Contract too.
Yeah.
All right, and the other thing that I wanted to say, is there anyone underneath that position, because it says executive? So is there gonna be a person helping in that department, or is that just a single position?
So right now, me and my assistant that wears 8 million hats, we help with all the marketing, and it's a team effort, yeah.
Okay.
I'm working her to death, by the way, so
I was just wondering.
can we edit that from there?
And I think the other one was it ever considered to post the assistant superintendent position, like for public, or it was just something?
Absolutely not. If
Okay.
one thing I'm sure about is the person that I'm putting before you, 100%. I've been in education nearly half, 100%. I would put up that person against anybody in the United States, and I would win. And I would win. So, I'd rather not have someone than not have the person that I'm putting before you.
Thank you.
Are we good?
Oh, yes, I was good.
Okay. Well, make sure you got the questions answered. All right. Since you were already talking about it, I'll say this. As opposed to piecemealing us with information on it, although I'm sure there'll be some things necessary to send in your weekly update, most organizations tend to have an annual sort of like a report from that position of, you know, things that have gone on in that space. So it might be helpful to do that once a year, give us an update. I'm sure you'll have someone else, but an update on just some of the statistics and things that we've done and how our strategy has changed, things of that nature.
I'll start that
Yeah.
first day in July of 2026.
I'm throwing out a suggestion. You do what you want.
First thing that I'll start on.
There's 6 other members of the board, maybe they don't want to hear that, but I'm just saying, you know. All right, so we have 7C, which is personnel actions. Are there any other questions on personnel actions? Okay, hearing no other questions on personnel actions. Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Chairman Kane?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We all at once, not individual. I thought you said we had to move everything to vote individually, but,
No, what I said, well, you said you had questions on two positions, right?
right.
And I said, we have to take all of it off the consent agenda. We can't just, like, it was one item. The one item was personnel actions with a whole bunch of pieces to it. And we can't pass the rest of the pieces of it and leave two. We have to take it all off and pass them all together or vote them down.
Okay, because I thought in the past, we were able to take what we had a question, or if we didn't want to vote on that, we would set that aside. For instance,
Well, we set aside the agenda item. If there's a position that you're against, you would have to vote against all of it, not one at a time.
okay,
Does that make sense? Or you think that I had that wrong?
yeah, but it's okay.
You think I had that wrong? Okay.
It's
So-
all right. We're gonna continue.
Okay.
We'll continue.
Does everybody understand the point I'm making, the distinction we're making here? Okay.
Because
So-
we had where there was two positions, and Tyler had put a motion that we separate the two. It was when the math teacher came, the principal, and then she wanted that to be separated, to vote separate with the person that we had approved for HR.
So I don't remember the situation, but I would have to assume if we did it that way, that they were listed individually. I don't think they were ever listed individually.
No.
So then we pulled that item off, allowed her to ask her questions, and then we passed them all together.
So wouldn't that be the same thing? Is it just because it's just 70 and not 2?
If it was 2 or 70, it doesn't matter. If you want to pull it off, we'll pull it off and we'll allow you to ask any questions you want. But at the end of the day, when we can't, we're going to pass them all together. It's one item. And that one item is listed as personnel actions. If there was trepidation around one role, then what we could have done before we got here is say, put the one role by itself and we would pass that alone. But that's not what we did here. We have personnel actions, all of them. So we either vote them all up or we vote them all down, which is fine either way, but that's how it works. You can't pull off one of them to say, I want to pull this one out and vote for this one alone, unless we had it that way. Or you can actually, you know what? You can make a motion to pull off anyone you want to vote by itself, and we can.
Well, you explained that in the beginning, President, how when I had said that I would like to take the 2, and then you said,
So
no,
we
we
did
would
that.
have to remove all of them. So I thought at that point that was the opportunity, but I don't want to be out of order, so you can
You're
go ahead
right.
and continue with the
You're
motion
not-
that's on the floor.
You're not out of order. You have the right to ask right now to pull 1 or 2 off that you want to pull off, and the board will vote on that before we vote on the personnel actions. Is that what you would like to do?
I would like to take one of them off, yes.
Okay, go ahead. So,
Title, don't hear his name.
Or another.
Or the number.
I think the number, I'll give you the number.
I'll consider this a secondary motion to the primary motion. Go ahead, let's, what is it that you want to pull off?
1 second, I'm gonna get the number, one moment. Gotta find it. It's right here. $43.
Okay, so you want to pull off item number 43.
That page 43 on the.
It's number 43 of the personnel action, so you can see who number 43 is.
Okay.
Here, I'll show it to you.
I'm on the page, I'm on here, but I see 46,
It's
so
on
maybe you're just
page,
skipping.
It's
on
page
skipping.
5.
You see 43?
No, I see page,
43.
oh, you got a different spread than me.
That's
Well, you
under
could
a
just
different
zoom,
one.
but,
Okay.
but 43.
Okay, I got
You
it,
see it?
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Forty-three.
Yeah, you got it? Okay. Y'all got it? Ladies?
Yes.
Okay, 43? Okay. All right. So, trustee Corcoran, is that, can we consider that a motion to pull up item 43?
Yes, please.
Okay, is there a second on that motion? Is there a second on that motion?
You're supposed to second?
If you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to. Is there a second on that motion? This is the third time I'm asking, it's the last time I'm asking. Okay, there's no second, that motion dies. So now we're back to the original motion of passing the personnel actions, item 7C. So we have that motion, I move for the passage of personnel actions, item 7C. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I made the motion, seconded by trustee Tyler. Question on the motion. Hearing none, Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Perriman James.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Elvin.
Yes.
Madison.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
And Corcoran.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Now we'll go to item 7D. Approval of school administrators, cabinet, dean of culture, and at-will contract for 2025 and 26. I assume that's why we have so many people in the room. Smile a little bit. That's gracious. Tension in the room.
I know.
Okay, so we're at 7D. You want to read? There is a motion,
It's
right?
no 7D. You said 7D.
It was 7C, the old 7C.
Okay. Resolved that the Oak Park Board of Education approves the contracts for administrators, cabinet members, deans of culture, and at-will staff for the 2025-2026 school year.
Okay, motion made by trustee Scott, seconded by trustee Tyler. Any questions on that motion? Other than that somebody gonna sign for me, because it's a lot of contract. Okay, out of order, thank you. Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Elvin.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Perriman James.
Yes.
And Madison.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Motion passes.
All right, thank you for your patience, and we appreciate your enduring this hot weather. So, distinguished board, first of all, I thank you for your support and passage of these contracts. I wish I could take credit for their value, but really that's who they are. That they've always been these people. I just happened to meet them. So if I could address Adam Carter first. Since he's getting promoted. So I
Yes. Yes.
come up here. I met
Yes.
Adam three years ago, and I ran into him again at a football game. I don't know if you remember that. And I had been watching him and watching him work with students at Key, and he was down the hallway marching, and here comes like a duck with the ducklings. They were all marching behind him, and I seen him and his wife at a football game. I don't know if you remember this, Adam. And I said to him, Adam, are you ready to be a leader? And, you know, and he's like, you got to talk to the boss. So I said, do you remember that? So I said, where's the boss? And he's like, she's over there. So I said, do you mind if we borrow Adam? And she said, no. And so we've been working with Adam. He's in-school learning and leading and serving for years. He comes from an amazing bloodline. His dad's not paying attention right now because he's probably looking at scores, but comes from an amazing bloodline. And Adam, I truly believe that you're going to be a cornerstone of Oak Park for years to come. And I've just been lucky to be in your presence to work with you, so I appreciate your willingness to accept this and to endure me and Miss Murphy and Miss Prince and everyone, and I thank you for your service. So I want to present you our Assistant Principal, Adam Carter. All right, you want to say a few words?
Yes, yes,
Thank you all for having me this evening,
yes.
to my family and all of my coworkers who are now friends and family as well. I think that's the thing that drew me near to Oak Park from the very beginning was just an extended family. And so I look forward to continuing to serve our children and our staff as best I can, and continuing to just create a culture of love and ownership and responsibility to kind of pass down those leadership skills to everyone else in our school. So thank you all.
Dad, you want to give me the first hug, Dad? You want to give me the first hug? All right. Somebody got to hug him. All right. Next, I'd like to present you Miss Farr, if you could come on up. Andrea Farr. So, Andrea Farr is our newest Director of Finance at Oak Park School. So, you know, having met her 3 years ago, we didn't start off on the best foot, right? But watching her grow and flourish and take on classes and learning and going to all these developments and helping in the midst of all this turnover that they were having from business leader to business leader, she's been one constant in the finance department amongst all this turnover. And I've been working with her, and you know, I take it this way. If you could endure Angel, you could endure a whole lot. So having, you know, her grow and learn and work with our auditors and produce remarkable work while still being a mom, a wife, a student, and everything else, it really gives me a pleasure to present you our newest finance director, Andrea Farr.
Oh, I'm definitely not as eloquent as Mr. Carter. But first and foremost, my thanks go to Dr. Foster. She is my shining star, my golden girl for support, and also for Superintendent Abdulahad for giving me the support to grow and expand and learn. And all of the finance department, including Ms. Greer, who's here tonight, and all of my coworkers, Tiffany, Aaliyah. Thank you all for supporting me on this journey. And it's been a very welcome one. I left corporate finance, I was in turnaround management to try and do more. Rather than the corporate world, I wanted to help children. So, as Mr. Carter said, let's look forward to helping children for longer.
Yes.
All right. So is Dr. Miles here? So I still have to say something about Dr. Miles. So Dr. Miles has been a Dean of Culture by title, but so much more off title, right? So a lot of us, we have this title of work that we do, and then there's the plus, 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 plus. working with administration at Nova and watching them just grow and transform from a place where you just send troubled youth, right? Just go there, out of sight, out of mind, to a place where it has become an alternative learning center for success. And that is what Nova has become. It is not a you have issues or you do this or therefore you go there because you don't. No, this is a destination for students seeking an alternative learning style. And Dr. Miles has played a huge role in that. And so although he could not be here, we encourage growth from within. I'm a big believer in growing from within. And so I want to present everyone to our newest assistant principal. Not ready to disclose location just yet, but the newest assistant principal, Dr. Miles. All right, I'm almost done. Next, the saying couldn't be more true with this next person. My brother from another mother. All right? So, what I want to share with you is this young man is remarkable. He has grown in so many ways, and he already had talent, and he already had skill. But just to see what he has done for Oak Park athletics, for Oak Park students, changing the culture of Oak Park, all behind the scenes, and all while winning back-to-back state championships. So I want to present you our newest assistant athletic director, and I'm sure future athletic director of Oak Park Schools sometime, Brandon Giles. So Brandon, he never takes credit. He doesn't want to come up here. He doesn't want to post things about himself. I have to post it for him because he won't post it for himself. He never gives himself kudos. Anytime I praise his team or anything, he always deflects that to his assistants and stuff. And all while being a dad of young children and balancing that with a crazy superintendent with all his quirks, and he does it so well. So Brandon, I honestly appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you do for Oak Park, and I know everyone values what you bring to Oak Park Schools.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. Coach Carter hired me, so to work under him, that's going to be an honor. You know, Oak Park is like home for me. I've been here for 13 years. Dr. Cobra brought me in, and you know, I love the kids. I love the community. And it's not about me. It's about, you know, school and trying to help kids get to, you know, where they can go. I'm a little emotional because Coach Carter, like, me and him, we work real good together. And, like, he's like a father figure to me. And, like, I appreciate him because sometimes he doesn't get the credit he deserves. Angel, I thank you for the opportunities. I enjoy working in this district. I love this school system. I love the Board of Education, our admin team. I know it's not always perfect around here, but I just want to see us grow, continue to thrive, and make it a destination for kids. So thank you, everybody.
All right. Next, we got our newest executive director. I'm drawing a blank because he's not looking at me. Student safety and security. Is Executive Director Derek Falk, looking sharp in his suit. Looking sharp. So, this guy never sleeps. Never sleeps. And if you were to ask anyone, I know I wouldn't do it. If they would say, Mr. Abdullah, would you like the task of ensuring that all our students and staff are safe? No. No. I mean, because I don't think I could do it. It's so much. It's so much to do. And to put it all on the weight of one person, it's a lot. And he takes everything in stride. Doesn't sleep. Sunday, I get a text message from him. Hey boss, I'm like, Derek, it's Sunday. Just wanted to give you a heads up, you know. I'm like, appreciate it. So, he's there from sun up to sundown. He's ridden the bus to stops when we had that issue with that person in Detroit where they were looking for him. He was on that bus with the kids. I don't know at my age if I could ride a school bus. I couldn't do it. He was on that. So, along with understanding the staff, understanding the students, understanding all the nuances of security and safety and all the things that we've added, he's been instrumental in overseeing. And so, again, it was hard pulling him out of Nova. It was hard. But when you know that you are called to serve a greater purpose than you have to answer that call. And I believe he has a greater purpose, and he is answering that. And Derek, I know I give you, I think everyone here could attest to, I give him a hard time. Everyone. But it's in love. And I appreciate you, honestly, and I value what you bring to Oak Park. And I know you've dedicated many years, and I know you'll dedicate many more. So I want to be the first person to congratulate you on your new role.
Thanks, Ross. Well, I'm not going to be long-winded. Usually I'm up here talking about Nova Academy, so I just want to first thank all of you for allowing me to work here this long. I've been here for a very long time, and I've had many roles. But I love Oak Park. I think you all have one of the best communities that you can ask for. And I want to work hard to make sure that your community stays beautiful. It's a wonderful place to see people walking and students going to school. And I can definitely say that we're going to continue that. We're going to continue to work hard to make sure that the community can really, really, really enjoy not only our school district, but everybody, everything around us, okay? So thank you so much, and Ms. Z and all of the staff and my teammates over here, thank you so much for supporting me. Coach Carter, you know, we're on the football field late at night, so, and we're Brandon Jobs, great guy. And to you, thank you very much again.
I'm almost done.
You keep saying it.
I got 3 more. All right, next. 2 more, actually, 2 more. But I have to say something about this next person, because if I would say very close to how I am, you know, got to be a Leo. I don't know if she's a Leo, but if she's not, she should be a Leo, because she's a fiery spirit. But what I want you to know of this next person is that she bleeds Oak Park. She loves Oak Park. It is obvious if you go to any program at Lessinger, what she has done at Lessinger in this small amount of time. And I'm telling you, the highest performing academics are being produced out of Lessinger. That is not a coincidence. Morale, not a coincidence. Parent participation, not a coincidence. Spending is also not a coincidence, but I'll save that one. But what I want to present you right now is Brandy North is our newest executive director of If anyone understands what I mean by changing climate and culture at Oak Park, I believe we've done it from 22 to where we are. But I believe there's more, right? So there's more. That Oak Park pride, we have that, but I walked into a Costco and the guy seen I had a Oak Park hat and he said, Oak Park? And I said, that's right. But that's what I want. I want people to feel like Oak Park's a destination, that we're not just, oh, you can't get in anywhere else. You go, no. We are selective, and she gets me. She gets where I want us to be. She gets when I want that marketing and that PR. She gets it. She gets it. And I wholeheartedly believe in you, Brandy. 100%. And I believe that Oak Park is better with you in this role than with anyone else. So I believe that you will take it to the next level, and I want to present the board and everyone here, Brandy North.
Okay, so I'm usually a talker, but now I feel like I'm on the spot. So I first want to start by thanking everybody before me. Superintendent Abdullah, who came to Oak Park and laid the foundation for me to make Lessinger what Lessinger is, and supported me in all my decisions, no matter how difficult they were. Because sometimes it's a storm before the sun comes out, and we went through that, and he went through that with me. And to Cabinet, who has each supported me in your own unique ways, from sweet messages to checking on, making sure things are running smoothly, so thank you all. And then board members, from Ms. Corcoran, who came to our opening, to Ms. Clark, you know, we already have our relationship. Ms. Mass, who came to see me and is bringing her baby. Ms. Scott, we getting to know each other. But welcome, and I'm so excited to know you. Ms. Tyler, who is at everything and always there to support. So and Ms. Tanks, whose mother was my high school teacher. So it goes back and had an impact on my life. So thank all of you before me for all your support. And our board president, I would be remiss not to mention him, who, when we had that transition from the last administration to the previous administration, he came and saw me and was like, you better not leave. Because I didn't know what we were getting into or what we weren't getting into. And he came and he said, the way you love these kids, I will support you as long as you keep loving these kids like that. So I want to thank him as well. And I just appreciate all you. Ms. Greer, you do keep me together. Ms. Muller, making sure you do keep us all together, actually. So thank you very much. And then I have my family here, my family in the front row, all of them. Thank you. My sister, my dad is over there. Yeah. Okay. So my aunt, who raised me, thank you so much. I got Coach Watts, who keeps me sane on a regular basis. Thank you so much. Hey, Miss Watts too, Miss Watson too. So I thank you all for being here. And then we already know Shana Renee Holden Murphy is my soulmate. Y'all know that's my soulmate. So I want to thank her for always, oh, Jax. I'm sorry, Jax. Yes, I see you. And then I just have a phenomenal team, from Miss Williams to Miss Prince, who came out to support. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. And what I say about Oak Park is small but mighty. And I think that it's amazing, and I plan for us to grow. I plan for us to have our mark on this world. I plan for us to be known and for great things. The ground is already fertile. It's already there. It's just how we cultivate it. And I'm very excited to have the opportunity to do that. and always reach out to me. This is collaborative, and I'm always very much working together because I cannot do it by myself. I don't want to do it by myself. And I believe that the more we have communication, the more we work together, the more transparent we are, the better we can work through issues. That's it. And that's part of my work. It's communications. The better we are. We don't have to agree, but we have to always put kids first. And that's always been my thing. So I thank you all so much. And
Alright, this is the last one now. I saved, I'm not gonna say the best for last, but
Well, it is the best for last.
I don't wanna get myself in trouble though, see, I work with a lot of people. So, it gives me great honor. I like to view myself as being able to help people grow, but sometimes you just see people that are already growing, and all you do is get out of their way. And this is what I've done with this next person. So, it gives me great honor. I have never promoted someone. This is my first time and last time that I'll be promoting. So, I've never promoted someone to such high-level position, but I would be remiss if I wouldn't introduce you to my new Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning. Ms. Shannon Ruth. I'm not gonna say
Come to the mic with you.
But
Let him come on
I gotta
up.
finish. So, it took me 3 months. 3 months of being employed here. And I don't know if I shared this story with you, but I was looking at the cameras, and I see this person in the middle of the hallway, and it looks like they're talking to themselves. But it looks like they got it all put together. And I'm like, wow. I mean, and they were directing traffic and conducting conversation, and I'm like, wow. So that person that I seen on camera was Miss Murphy at Key when she was the principal. I called her, I said, what are you doing in the hallway? She said, I'm just trying to navigate, making sure I have, I said, wow. And she, you know how from above water the ducks look, and the swans look all graceful underneath everything. But, like what I said, I will put her up against anybody in the United States. And other people have actually seen her and said, hey, tell me about, I said, and I would reply, you wish. You want to go to war with me, try it. And they said, no, we're just curious because, you know, I said, no, don't be curious, not about certain people.
Not about that one.
Nope. And so it doesn't take much for other people to discover their leadership capabilities. Again, 3 months it took me. She's grown faster than I even ever anticipated. She never hears anything negative. And allows me to stay in that realm. She always finds a way to say, okay, so, but here's what we could do about it. Always looking for ways to discover adaptations. She has decided to work at Oak Park. Oak Park didn't decide to take her. She picked Oak Park. And again, like to take credit, but it was not my discovery. Who discovered you?
Dr. DeVita.
All right. So I'm sure she'll remind me. She'll say, you know, you promoted my person. But she has a way of discovering people, and I have been blessed by that. And I do admire you, Miss Murphy. I admire your willingness and your focus on teaching and learning. You always challenge the status quo. She never settles with, well, this is where we are. No, that's never good enough. She's everywhere in all the events, and I truly believe under her leadership, Oak Park will continue to grow. So I want to present you our Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning. Okay, help me say the full name like you said.
Shannon Renee Houghton,
I tell her only her and Dr. Cobra calls me my whole entire government name. But good evening. I'll be really, really quick. I know it's been a long day. It's hot. Y'all still got business to take care of. But I am forever grateful for being able to serve here in the Oak Park School District. First, I want to thank God for all of the opportunities that He has given to me. He just keeps opening doors and doing things and blowing my mind. I want to thank my family, my mother, and my pawpaw, my granny back there.
Where they at?
They're in the back way, y'all.
Stand up, let us see. Stand up, let us see.
My parents were teen parents. They had me at 14 years old. Okay, 14 years old. And by all intents and purposes, I'm a statistic, right, of teen parents. I got a scholarship to go to the University of Michigan in the 8th grade.
Sorry, where did you say?
The University of Michigan, in the 8th grade, and I got there and decided to do it. First child psychology, then I changed it to education because I always wanted to work with kids. I got into my first ed psych class, and a gentleman who didn't look like me, I got up and I talked about how I wanted to come back to Metro Detroit. I said Detroit at first, to serve the children there. And he looked at me, he said, "You want to waste your Michigan difference education on going back there?" Oh, that lit a fire under me, baby. Okay, and so all of this time I've dedicated my ministry, my service to serving children that look like me. I want to thank my husband and my family. They get out of my way, just like my superintendent said. They just support and get out of my way. I want to thank my superintendent. He gets me together all the time, too. He say, "Shana, no, Shana, no." But he also gets out of the way and lets me do what I do. And I love the support that he gives me to my cabinet. We huddle, we talk, we work it out. I was going to say a word I shouldn't say. We work it out and we keep it moving for the betterment of our district and to our board. The care that you take for our community, our children, showing up all the time, being in places, making sure we have great people here in the Oak Park School District. It means so much. So I'm thankful for the service that I'm able to provide, the service that you allow me to give, and for my superintendent for always believing in me. And of course, my son here, my daughter is at basketball practice, that's what she said. She's gonna be my WNBA check, and then my son is gonna be my NBA check. They're gonna retire me, okay, amen. But I wanna thank you all for your support. I love my superintendent, my family, and thank you to the Board of Education for all that you do for the Oak Park School District. We got work to do.
Wait a minute, what do you want to say?
I'm proud of you, Mommy.
I'm proud of you, Mommy.
Okay.
Thank you, President Elvin.
And Brandy North. She just flipped all the tables over for me and let me go do what I
All right, we are at information items. I will say this, and I don't know how the board feels about it. We do have, it was brought to my attention, we had somebody sitting in the back of the room who could not hear me and did not have the opportunity to speak during public comment. We have passed public comment, but I want to check with the board to see how they feel. She was in the room, she just did not hear my voice. Is there a concern with allowing her to speak? If there is, we won't do it. Okay, she was in the room, I promise. Okay. Ms. Carter, the floor is yours.
Want to say good evening. What a wonderful celebration it's been. I'm Reverend Dr. Yvette Griffin. I'm pastor Pilgrim Baptist Church, and I'm Greg Carter's sister. I just needed to know one thing, and I want to know about that security policy. I want to know, do I have to come through the metal detectors and then get a background check? That's what I wanted to know.
We can't answer that, but you can talk to the superintendent offline. So, okay, but
great.
you, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you. All right, and board, thank you for your indulgence on that. I know we passed the item, but she was in the room, and she informed me that she was in the room, and she had a card, and she didn't hear me. So I guess lesson learned for me that I need to project a little bit more, as there are not any microphones here, So I'll try to do a better job of that as best I can and keep that top of mind. We are at information items. 8A, Oak Park Board of Education designation of meeting dates 2025-26. Board members, the proposed dates are before you. I do have a question, but I didn't know if anybody had a question or a reason for change. It's not, we're not passing it today, so there is time for us to work through it, as we'll pass that at the next meeting. But I did see that there's an August date at the beginning, and there's an August date at the end. Should it stop at the end of June? I don't, like, is it July 1 to June 30th? Is that what we would be passing?
July, and then we come back in August.
So I guess what I'm seeing is the dates run August, there's an August meeting for 2025, and there's also August meeting for 2026. Does it go that far, or should it go to June, and then we start over in July? I guess that's my question. So I can't recall, and I don't have the current one in front of me to say, but I'll let you look at that and make a determination. Is there anything else from other members of the board on the calendar? And did y'all see, usually Dawn is the one that catches stuff.
Yeah, actually, that's how it always, it overlaps, that's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, so I thought the year was,
Because we don't start it like in January, so it kind of overlaps, because we do it later.
all right, did you see anything else? Because you're the one that normally catches stuff.
That would, I mean, no, I didn't see anything. I usually always just try to look at, make sure that we're not bumping heads with other things, so.
I know.
We get our holidays off and stuff.
That's why I'm calling on you for that. Anything from other members of the board? Okay, nothing. So if you see anything, please reach out to Ms. Greer and let her know. If you want to copy me, you can. I didn't see anything glaring, but I didn't bump it up against a calendar of holidays and things of that nature. So if you see something, just let me know. 8B, Transportation Services, contract extension with First Student. You have any comments on that?
No, I'm just asking for a new renewal under First Student. It is an increase, but we are still the lowest daily rate for transportation in Oakland County, or actually in the state of Michigan.
Say that again, Annie.
So our contract is up with First Student, so I'm asking for a 3 to 5 year renewal on that contract. The daily rate for buses is going to go up, but we are still the lowest daily rate in the state of Michigan for buses.
So we're still in bargaining with them, but this is
Correct.
information.
Correct.
All right. Questions on that? Okay, nothing? All right, acceptance of food service contract, Chartwell's 1-year renewal. Tiffany, still you.
Okay, so this is our annual rate with Chartwells. This is required of us by Michigan Department of Education. We did go out for bid last year and enter into a 5-year agreement with Chartwells. But by MDE requirements, we have to bring to you each year the 3% renewal, and this rate is designated by MDE.
Okay. Questions? It seems pretty straightforward. Go ahead.
The question that I had is any of that gonna impact with funding? Like, is that, like, the amount, is it gonna increase, decrease?
It will increase the
Okay.
food service budget, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Because I know we just had the budget hearing, so I was.
Yeah, but there's no, even if, we're gonna feed our
No,
all our
I
students.
understand.
Yeah,
Oh, I totally get it.
Oh, okay.
Because we got, fund balances and, Superintendent Abdullah, he's gonna find some way somehow.
Yes, we're gonna feed our
I
kids,
wasn't-
yes,
I wasn't
yes,
even-
ma'am.
Yeah, I just wanted, on paper, see, on paper it says differently, so, got it.
Anything else on that? Okay, item 8D, OPPA bleacher replacement project.
Okay, so in your packet, you will have the bid tabulation for the bleacher replacement along with the electrical component of the bleacher project. We did come under budget. We had 250,000 budgeted for this project, so we came in about 75,000 under budget. We are gonna go with Intercall for the actual bleacher installment and Great Lakes Power for the electrical component.
Questions from the board? Okay. And now we're gonna go to item 8E, Cisco phone service licensing renewal.
That's me.
I know it is, keep looking at you.
Okay, so this is for the district's phone service. We're gonna be making some upgrades to hardware as well as migrating over the phones and voicemail to a new software system.
Does that, what does that do financially for the change?
This is a slight increase. That number is not in here. I can get you that number in your weekly update.
Ballpark.
Probably 20,000 max.
All right, thank you. No need to go through this.
Okay.
So is that gonna have like the voices on it, you know, we're not available, like you're gonna have your voice to say?
Yep.
I got you.
Yep. And it'll all be stored in the cloud. And then this also gives us enhancements to our E911 system.
You took this right out of my mouth, because I was gonna say, you know, this system is probably gonna recognize those prank people.
Absolutely. So when anyone calls 911, it'll say the exact location from the building that they're calling.
Okay. Questions from the board, other than that? Okay, hearing none. Thank you. Go to communications from members of the administration.
So just want to remind you that in July, we have our plant-based dinner that we're going to have correct, in July, the plant-based dinner that we're going to be, we're just asking you to be open-minded, right? We're asking you to be open-minded.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you're Wagyu. You're Wagyu. I don't want to say it on TV.
You act like all I eat is Wagyu steak every day. I only had Wagyu once in my life with you, and then turn into a steak. Come on.
I'm just saying, be open-minded, it's plant-based. Some stuff is a home run. Kids love it, we love it. Some stuff, trial and error. Be open to that. We are also having our, those new board members, we have once a year, Plant Moran Cressa comes in to give us where we are with the bond work. That's also in July. They're gonna come in and talk about where we are in phases, what we're doing, when are we gonna go online with athletics, with open, all that. That's also in July. And we're also asking them if we could utilize them to take us out on a retreat on their dime.
Additional items from the administration.
Yeah, I just had to just say,
Okay,
Mr. Graham, oh, I'm sorry. Because I heard him speak, so I thought it was already.
I didn't know if anyone else had anything. Okay, from members of the board. Go ahead, Trustee Corcoran. Trustee Corcoran. Trustee Corcoran?
No, you just answered my, but I did want to say congratulations to the school year 2025. I was really happy to see all the awards, the scholarships, and different things, and I just want to wish all of those 2025 graduates blessings and their forever endeavors.
Okay. Anything else from members of the board? Yes, ma'am.
Firstly, I would like to thank everyone who reached out to me for the well wishes for my mom. Secondly, I had the pleasure of speaking at the 5th grade graduation at Key. And, you would be proud of me. They cried. They told me they cried, the parents. So, it was very nice and heartfelt. I got a lot of compliments from the parents. It was real personal because my son had been going there since preschool. So I called out a few kids' names and it was like, oh my God. So yeah. And then I wanted to acknowledge the courts for being there since kindergarten and honor roll, AB, honor roll, all A. And then I went and chaperoned at the zoo. Whew. That was fun. So my kids fought over me, so I had to do second and fifth at the same time. Never doing second again, ever. It was fun though, very organized. The bus situation, that was good. Everything was, seamless. And then the fifth grade dance, that was also very good. It was fun, the kids had fun, and great job. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, anything else from members of the board?
I did have one more thing. I wanted to say that, Ms. North, actually, I wanted to say that I was very impressed when we first opened up Lessinger, and we had the whole design thing going. You never missed a meeting. It was difficult at some times where you had to intervene and say, excuse me, but I'm the one in charge. So I just want to not be remiss to let you know that. And for Ms. I can remember that you actually impressed me when I first met you. I said, wow, like you were speaking and you were sitting up here and I was new and I was like, I'm gonna be like her when I grow up, like literally, because you've always, been very polite. You have always been with this great big smile that if you're angry, you're not going to be angry later. So I don't want to be remiss to let you know that I do appreciate you both for all that you have done in my eyes. And thank you very much and welcome to the team. You're welcome.
Okay, anything else from members of the board? I have a few things. One, just wanted to say congratulations to those who contracts were done tonight and looking forward to great work and partnership with the administration and the leadership as we continue to do our best to educate our children and to give them the best educational experience that we possibly can here in Oak Park. Also, I want to, I heard Trustee Corcoran already mention class of 2025. I'll echo that. I won't go into specifics in general on the graduation, but not that it was bad. I just don't want to, repeat. But also want to shout out Alexis Edwards, who started her college career yesterday. I know this because I dropped off my son at the same place. What school was that again?
Wayne State.
University of Michigan.
The University of Michigan. So shout out to Alexis Edwards, who is starting her college career. And I know, like I said, I know that I knew where she's going. I know what she's participating in. I don't know her personally, but I was there to witness her receive a scholarship. And so from the devastating divas of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. How do I know that? Because my son got that same scholarship. So congratulations to her and all of the class of 2025. But I know they start in Summer Bridge. They start school early, and I know we have a lot of others starting school as well, most likely in August. These youngsters have to be in school from now until August 15th, and then turn around and start again on August 25th. So no break for those who are going to Summer Bridge, but she is going to a wonderful university in the University of Michigan, and I wish her all the best. I heard some talk tonight about culture and climate, and as it referenced number 43. Was it 43 or 42?
43.
As it referenced number 43. The culture and the climate starts at this table. I've said this before. That's where the culture and the climate begins. And we haven't done the best job of setting the example. We have to do a better job here at this table. So I know I mentioned before we had somebody come in last meeting, I think it was, to talk about opportunity for board development. That's in the budget. That's in the budget.
Yes.
So we're gonna take them up on that offer. And I'll work with Ms. Greer to make that happen. And I'll, our next meeting is, when is our next meeting? Next meeting is July 14th. So we will put on the agenda for that so that we can start to plan out those dates, or at least start with the first date that we can get some board development, because we need it. We need to, we don't always have to agree. I don't expect us to always agree. And thank you that we don't always agree. But we've got to learn to disagree without being disagreeable. And disrespectful to each other and to others. We've got to do that in a more sophisticated, acceptable way, the way we expect our students to act, the way we expect our parents to comport themselves when they're dropping off and picking up and things of that nature. But that attitude has to start here at this table. So just know that we'll be putting that into motion. It's in the budget. We're going to move forward with it. Instead of, you know, some of the same development we always have, we need to figure out how to work together as a board. That's important. And it's not that, at this point, I'm just giving my comments. So do you have something?
Well, you said, I was just going based on what you said. I just thought.
You said point of information. I don't have to do that. What's up?
Oh, I just thought it would be a motion to, because I know we have Dr. Green. Dr. Green does a great job with, you know, and he also does workshops.
He does.
And
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't think you're done. Go ahead.
And I just know that Dr. Green, you know, he was a superintendent once, and, you know, he has a great tenure with MASB. I've been in his classes, and he is very, very, very good.
We're not replacing Dr. Green with the things that we already have Dr. Green doing. I'm a firm believer in not putting all your eggs always in the same basket. To always have the same person. You know, sometimes it's okay for some change. And we have unique issues here at this table. And we need to address those issues in a way that's comprehensive. And so that's why I think we're going to take them up on that offer. So, you know, we don't have to vote on it. It's in the budget. There's no, we haven't voted on having anyone else when we had Dr. Green. We just did it. It was in the budget.
But we have a membership with MASB, so that would
We
be
do.
why we wouldn't have to.
We would still have to pay for the session, so it wouldn't be free.
True. But
Okay.
he said it was expensive, so I was just, you know, saying you said it's in the budget.
Yeah, I don't think it's, we're not talking about 10 grand difference here. We're talking about a tailored approach to what our issues are. I think we should give them a try. I ain't saying it's gonna work. I don't know that Dr. Green would work. I don't know that anything would be perfect. But I think we need to figure out the best method to get somebody in here. And I think I heard something that was a little different. There's nothing wrong with Dr. Green. There's nothing wrong with MASB. Yes, we have a membership. And yes, even though we have a membership, we pay for every time they walk in this door. So there may be a little bit of a difference there. I'm not discounting that. But if their approach is more tailored, that's what I would like to see for us. So we need to just come up with some dates, a date that we're available to start that. You know, hopefully we can get that started by August at some point. We only have one meeting in August, so then hopefully we can start in August. All right. I mean, you know, yeah. We had Dr. Green, and we still got major issues. So.
But he never did a workshop for us.
Look, y'all asked me for a workshop, and I'm giving you what you asked for. You didn't tell me how. You just said you wanted it, so I'm doing exactly what you want. That was a joke. Like, smile a little bit. So, yeah, let's you know, y'all gotta learn to smile sometimes. Anyway, so that's where we stand on that, and I will work with Ms. Greer to see, you know, what we need to do there. And then we'll come back at the next meeting. We'll get that on the agenda. We'll come up with some dates to get us started. Okay? All right. Y'all been asking for this for the longest. Like, feel happy. Let's go. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
I don't want you to dance, but you know, just.
I'm excited.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. All right. Anything else from members of the board? Yep.
It just popped in my head. Congratulations to everyone, but specifically Ms. North. started on this board the same day my son started at Lessinger. And you remember he didn't have a class. And I came to you and I'm like, what do we do? And she said, hey, it's all right, Mom, come on in here. You have always been consistent. You've always been caring. You have always been loving. You have always put any and everything that I've ever needed from you. You've always been there. And I'm just one person, I'm just one parent, he's just one child. But you've never made anybody feel as if they were less than. You make everyone feel as important as they are. And I appreciate you, and I thank you for everything.
Don't you start now. You don't know start. See, you, I know what you was about to do. There's no crying in Oak Park School.
I learned my lesson.
See, now you got her over. See what I mean?
It's from a parent perspective.
Uh-huh.
Babies. We love our babies.
I love all the babies. I get it. Okay, all right. Anything else from members of the board?
Get some air in the building.
I thought we had it. That's why I had my long sleeve on. But you don't know what you're gonna get. So you might want to come like that, but bring your sweater just in case.
Imagine.
Can we get the HVAC going in here? Anyway, all right. We are at adjournment. The next meeting, I got you. Okay, go ahead. The next meeting is?
The next meeting of the Board of Education will be held Monday, July 14, 2025, at 6 p.m. in the boardroom at the High Administrative. You second it?
Just for clarity, I'm gonna check. You might have to run that meeting.
I won't be here either.
Okay, well, we'll have to
That was
get
a
the
joke.
designee.
That was a joke.
Okay, all right, nonetheless, all right, so we are at time is 7:41. Without objection, we'll pass the motion to adjourn by unanimous consent. Is there an objection to doing so? Hearing none, we adjourn at 7:41. Thank you.